What up, everybody? We're going to be talking about a scandalous shark today. Strap in, let's go. The TRIVELLATO Shark was a controversial car here in the Brazilian Florida city. Unveiled in the late 1970s, it promised to bring exotic, low-slung sports car styling to the Brazilian automotive industry. And this was at a period when Brazil was essentially cut off from imports. With its radical race car silhouette and sleek fiberglass styling, the Shark briefly captured the Brasileiros who were eager for a homegrown sports car. The company behind this ambitious vehicle was not your traditional automobile manufacturer, no, but rather a major industrial manufacturer. TRIVELLATO was widely known across Brazil for producing heavy-duty commercial truck bodies, freight trailers, and fuel tanker semi-trailers. Seeking to diversify their lineup and venture into the consumer vehicle market, TRIVELLATO's leadership saw what Puma was doing and said, I want a piece of that high-margin, prestige-building pie because it's a tasty pie. The origins of the Shark can be traced directly to a scandalous kit car builder in their own right by the name of Fiberfab. But that's a story we'll cover for another Lost In. Coming out of California, Fiberfab had created the AVENGER 12 as a kit car to go over the Fusca chassis, or in America, the Beetle chassis, while borrowing styling cues from the legendary GT40. The result was a sexy, aggressive, aerodynamic coupe with dramatic lines that looked way more expensive than its humble underpinnings. The car was brought to Brazil by engineer Walter Ristori, who was the son-in-law of TRIVELLATO's founder and president. Red flags, red flags! Walter acquired and imported an original Fiberfab body shell from the United States without securing formal licensing agreement from Fiberfab. Imagine that. He then convinced TRIVELLATO's board to cast molds directly from the imported shell, adopting the design for local production and pitched it internally and externally as his own creation. Red flags. Mechanically, the TRIVELLATO Shark of course relied on readily available mechanics. The air-cooled Fusca. The fiberglass body was mounted on an uncut VW Fusca platform powered by the VW Boxster 4-bangers, either the 1300 or the 1600 motors. Equipped with dual Cadar carburetors delivering around 60 horsepower. The car offered modest thrills but benefited from ease of maintenance. To better suit local driving conditions, the TRIVELLATO raised the roof by about 5 centimeters, a little bit more headspace there. Added large front and rear clamshell hoods and installed a surprisingly well done interior. Fancy. When the Shark debuted late 1970, it initially received glowing praise, leading to automotive publications such as Quatro Rodas magazine and Auto Esport showcasing the vehicle prominently, praising its stunning proportions, solid build quality, and its stunning interior with an easy-to-read instrument panel. For a very short period, it appeared TRIVELLATO had successfully launched a show-stopping competitor into the boutique sports car segment. However, the Shark entered some bloody waters, a ferociously competitive niche known as the Brazilian Fora de Série, the out-of-series sports car segment. Its main rivals included the widely popular Puma, with dominating domestic sports car sales due to its factory-backed distribution and its race pedigree. Fancy. Other formidable competitors using VW or GM components included the Lorena GT, Bianco, Adamo, and even Faris. Unlike Triviato, these rival automakers possess established dealership networks, coherent market strategies, and original properties, or properly licensed body designs. The turning point for the Shark occurred shortly after its launch, triggering a major scandal. An eagle-eye reader of Quatro Rodas magazine recognized that the supposedly all-Brazilian-built sports car was nothing more than an identical copy than the Fiberfab's GT12 Avenger. The magazine published this scandalous revelation, exposing the fact that Triviato had copied the design without authorization or even public acknowledgement. Lacking a public relations defense or a valid license, Triviato was branded by the press and the automotive community as having committed blatant plagiarism, destroying consumer trust virtually overnight. The scandal proved fatal to the vehicle's commercial prospects. Sales collapsed, production halted after only about 40 units were built, and the venture failed to generate any significant return on investment. The financial loss and reputation damage from the Shark's project contributed to a broader crisis of focus within Triviato, which ultimately accumulated heavy debts and declared bankruptcy in 1986, just 16 years after launching this. All down the toilet. Like I said, your son-in-law. Don't trust them. Today, the surviving Sharks remain somewhat prized and rare curiosities amongst classic car collectors here in Brazil. You know, what man wouldn't want to drive around in an inspired GT40 looking car? They are just so cool. You know, I see these for sale quite often in North America, and they always are so destroyed and just, in not good condition. But the ones that are done, they're usually done quite nicely. Man, are they cool. Tell me if you would want one of these. Leave a suggestion for a vehicle that you want me to cover, and I'll get to that. But like I always say, I'll see you on the flip side. Até a próxima. Ciao, ciao.
People are constantly asking me, what's it like to be a sex